Hello, everybody. I have had the toughest time with a math whiz problem, but we did load December 6th when Trump said Jerusalem is the capital. Michael said Biden's maybe has reversed that. If so, is that a reason for Biden to get popped in Israel, which then creates the motive for Trump to get popped? Could be that way, because Michael's been saying all along, Kamala Harris will be president of this country, based off of the Gerald Ford saying, or one president that said, I thought it was Ford, the only way you would get a female president, or the best way you can get a female president, is if she's a vice president and the president is popped. So paraphrasing what he said, he didn't say popped, but you get the idea. So what, was that the PSYOP to, yeah, and I'm going to watch this. I'm going to record this and put it private so I can watch it. Michael said it's pretty interesting. I think a dummy got popped. I mean, not a dummy. I think a clone got popped, possibly with JFK. All right. And but Michael came up with the fact that the total solar eclipse that sits in the middle on the exact day of the two that make the X across America, the 2017 eclipse that makes one line of the X, and we know that the April 2024 makes the other. Well, December 14th, 2020 was the day that sits right in the middle of those other two total solar eclipses. It's its own total solar eclipse, but it sits in between those two total solar eclipses that make the X across America. You would think that would be the event day. If it was, then he would have went down yesterday or today, or we're going to have to go up 37 days, give or take a day, right? Well, that's when the way Michael discovered this particular situation is it was exactly, if you include both dates, kids started being allowed to get poked on 6/21, first day of summer, longest day of the year. They're all about that, right? Of course they are. And notice the 555. That's the 37 progression from the total solar that sits in the middle of the other two total solars, the 12/14/2020. That was the day of the very first poke, 12/14/2020. Well, on a 37-day progression, if you include both dates, was when the littlest of children could now, whatever age they've set it to, I don't know, 3, 4, 2, I have no idea, 4 or 5, whatever it was, they can now get poked as of the 21st, which is a 37 progression of the original poke date. Now, Michael says it's 50-50, including both dates or not including both dates. Well, believe it or not, this cipher seems to be set on including both dates, but you never know. But if you do include both dates, we get 666 days after that total solar eclipse of the first poke, it lands on 10/10. And immediately Michael goes, that's Tenet from the movie Tenet, which, remember, our transfer portal was Janus Tenet. The number Tenet, or the word Tenet is 10 forwards and backwards for 10/10. And the month Janus, or January, is for the God that sees forwards and backwards. And the reason why we established a transfer portal of time at this past January 10th, Janus Tenet, any Janus Tenet, right up specifically this year, because it was the Donnie Darko overlay of October 1988. just like this coming October is an overlay. From March 1st on this year, since 88 was a leap year, from March 1st on this year, it's a total overlay of 1988. But this particular January, this past January, was an overlay of this coming October and the October 1988. And in Donnie Darko, they started talking about wormholes and time travel, portals, when Donnie went in to talk to his teacher on October 10th. So it was the 10th. Well, sure enough, Janus Tenant was our transfer portal date. That's one reason we established it then. But we just started noticing all these things that started popping off on that date. Go backwards 37 days, it landed on the total solar eclipse of December 4th, 2021. Go up 37 days, it landed on the full snow moon. We were like, okay, looks like we're on to something. And through that, we discovered the Gateway Arch of 25 days in both directions from October 28th. The Gateway Arch, October 28th to November 21st, and March 1st to March 25th. And we've shown you all that many times, but that's day 301 to day 325, or it's date 301 to date 325. They transfer portal back and forth to each other. So we knew now that occurs anytime you don't have leap years involved. But again, this particular transfer portal, doesn't include either year, backwards or forwards, the year right before it or the year of it. There's no leap year, so we're good. But the big thing we noticed was, there were a lot of different things, but 465 days before it, Trump said he had corona illness. And corona is the outer ring of a solar eclipse or a total solar eclipse. And you go up 465 days from January 10th or Janus Tenant, and it lands on a total solar eclipse. The next one, there is none in 2022. There's no total solar eclipses in 2022. So once we hit that portal, the next solar eclipse would transfer portal backwards to when he said he had corona. Then you go forward 465 days and it lands on a corona or a total solar eclipse. So that's either when he goes down, the abomination of desolation day, right? That's pretty much what we figured. And there were just a lot of things that we discovered through this transfer portal. Well, so Michael said, that's Tenant, 10-10. It's 665 days from the total solar eclipse of the first poke, if you include both dates. Now, if you don't include both dates, to get 666 days, you have to go to the 11th. Okay. So, but this thing really feels like this particular cipher is set up to include both dates. So October 10th, 10-10 is a really, really big day. It is the day after a full moon. So that is something to look out for. And that was a great find by Michael. It's just a tremendous find by Michael. Big, 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 big. So we are definitely going to keep an eye on that date. I put it in his prep. There we go. So what else do we have in the prep before we go to the grid? One item that was in my inbox that I forgot to pull to his folder because it came later on the day, I think. Trump's store was located at 620 Washington Street and Route 138. A driver faces charges after crashing into pro-Trump store. The crash occurred on June 16th. 7 years prior, on 6/16/2015, Trump announced his run for presidency. The car that drove through the store was a 2015 Jetta. And it says VW Jetta. So V is 22 and W is 23. So it's 2223, or a backwards 322 with another 2. And Route 138, Route 138 is Donald Trump and Gematria. So it was just super freaky. And then he shared this link. It says JFK was not killed on 11/22/63. There's nothing new under the sun. I thought he meant the date was off. He just meant that he wasn't killed. I don't think he was killed either. Now that Michael really makes me look at it, it makes sense that it would have been a clone. And there's no telling how long cloning's been around. The Island of Dr. Moreau, that movie came out, I don't know. The Island of Dr. Moreau, Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure that movie was in 1986. But I mean, how long has cloning been around? The Island of Dr. Moreau is an 1896 science fiction novel. I mean, look how far back this stuff goes. Shipwrecked man rescued by a passing boat. He is left on an island home with Dr. Moreau, a mad scientist who creates human-like hybrid beings from animals. So you talk about an 1896 science fiction. There's just no telling how long all of this science, because ain't none of it fiction. It's an offshoot of something that's real. It might not be exactly the reality, but it's always like off a gene or two of being exactly how things really are. So that's everything in Michael's prep. Let me update the grid for you. I mean, the Dark Knight Rises is right now in 9 years, 11 months. It's 9/11 or 119 months. That's where the Dark Knight Rises is. And that'll go on for the next 26 days, right? Give or take. That's just fascinating. That's what we're sitting in right now. I just did something to double check my grid to make sure everything's. I had a mathematical brain fart. I thought maybe I was telling y'all wrong. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. But these are all the items for tomorrow that hit without including both dates. And these are all the items that hit, excuse me, and then the Friday, where it says Friday, these are the items that hit tomorrow, Thursday, if you include both dates. So this along with the 22nd, 23rd combination, this 23rd, 24th combination, they're the two biggest combinations that you have. So it's just fascinating. Here we go. Franz Ferdinand assassination of 628 that kicked off World War I. World War I was caused by an assassination. I have told y'all World War III will be too. It will be Trump's. That all of the World War I PSYOP stuff, including the Spanish flu, every bit of it has been a repeat. What they've been doing is trying to recreate and repeat that time. What movie won Best Picture a few years back? The movie 1917 about World War I. And all these other movies have been coming out about World War I, World War I, World War I. So the Franz Ferdinand pop is tomorrow, June 23rd, or whenever you're watching this, which will be Thursday. It hits on a Thursday, y'all. Okay. Trump announcing he had the illness hits on Thursday. The track down episode, the episode hits Thursday. Saturday Night Live, Studio 88 or 8H for 88, because H is the 8th letter, began October 11th, 1975. Don't forget, that's 666 days after the first day of the Pope. If you include both dates, well, then you got to back it up to the 10th, but I'm just saying. Johnny Carson, initials JC for Jesus Christ, final show. That also hits on the 23rd. Michael said it's about 50-50 if you include both dates or not. So we're going to add these. How many items? 7 items. We're going to add these 7 items to Thursday. The 7/11/2010 total solar eclipse. 7/11 from the verse of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 7, rising out of the pit. The movie Shooter, where they shot a Dinty Moore can. Dinty Moore came to Trump, release date, and Chernobyl. Back to the Future, released. Partial lunar, July 5th, 2001. So you have a total solar and an eclipse in 2001. That all will count for June 23rd, Thursday. Dark Knight Rises. No Time to Die. Quantum Leap episode called It's a Wonderful Leap. Every one of those items, because 7 of them count if you include both dates. 5 of them land direct without including both dates. But that's 12 total. 12 total items for tomorrow. That is absolutely fascinating. I have 1 item, if you include both dates, that will land on Thursday. And that is the 10-year anniversary that occurred on April 13th, 2012, when the Lord called me out of the world, started the process, basically. And I turned 2219, 6 days old on that day, which is in Trump and I's combined number. So there it is on April 13th. What's the 10-year anniversary? I showed everybody, I showed y'all my Facebook memories of way back in 2010 when I said I quit astrology and numerology in the Catholic Church. The post itself said astrology and numerology. I don't want to upset my Catholic friends, but no, I don't care about stuff like that. But 22196, and you look at Trump and I's combined number, 7 times 6 times 1961 times 6 times 14 times 1946, and there's the 22196. And I have a Mayday friend who turned that many days old 33 days before that. And 33 days later, I turned that. And 33 days after I turned that was a total lunar eclipse. So I'm tracking that 33, that 33-day progression. I am actually tracking that. The next one hits on July 21st, which is 721. And remember, Trump's 5 multiple addresses are 721 through 725 Fifth Avenue and or Daniel 721 through 725 as the Antichrist in the book of Daniel. The horn is. We know Trump's the Antichrist because Jesus said he would be here in his own name, and the horn is the Antichrist of the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and 8. And Jesus said he would be here in his own name in John 5:43. I come in my Father's name and you receive me not, but if one shall come in his own name, him you will receive. He was talking to those people over there in that land where he roamed. And of course, Trump is on 3 temple coins over there in that land right now. So him you will receive. He is already received there, but boy, is he ever going to be received in the biggest of manners when he has seemingly returned from the deadly head wound to the right eye, per Zechariah 11:17. And not only do we know that it says the idle shepherd will have his right eye utterly darkened, but the Heidi Bowl occurred on 11/17, and it was the Jets, which is what hit the twin Trumps, playing the Raiders, who have the right eye utterly darkened with the patch. So I was just seeing on, where is it at? Well, I was watching this video last night and notice how on 10/10, October 10th, is when you got the Jesuit, when Donnie went in to talk to his teacher about wormholes and time travel. And of course, Trump attended a Jesuit school also. And so there he is. He's in there talking to his professor about time travel. And they had old Stephen Hawking book, and he's talked about wormholes, black holes, time travel. Stephen means crown. So anyway, was something else I wanted to get. So hang on. And when Donnie Darko went to movie theater, you see these 2 eclipses? Are those are solar eclipses. They don't look like blood red moons. Because if those were lunar eclipses, we've got 2 this year. But I think what those are solars. Okay. Anyway, hang on. That's not what I was looking for. Okay, the right eye represents the sun. this website is saying. It's YouTube Finis, well, L XVI Finis Temporis. The right eye represents the sun. The right eye covered or missing represents an eclipse. Okay. Well, does his right eye then get poked on that total solar of 2023? Or does it have to be a progression off of a total solar? So I don't know. It's very interesting. All of the 2001 eclipses, there is a total solar on June 21st, 2001. That next pop, or that next progression pops on July 17th, and then August 23rd. Those are big dates. That's a big one to track, y'all. I guess we need to look at the 1988 eclipses. I have the solar eclipses loaded. There's an annular solar on September 11th, 1988. That pops on July 13th, which is a full moon. That is the buck full moon. Good grief, that's so big. That exit sign lights up in back of Trump, and the buck lights up. I mean, heavens to Murgatroyd, people. You know how big that is? An annular solar hit on 9/11 in 1988. That's like an eclipse happening on October 6th of 2001. I mean, that's the reversal, because 88 and 2001 and October 2nd, 9/11, those are like the big dates. You know what I'm saying? The total solar, I already had these loaded. I went ahead and highlighted them. Whoops, that's 2001. Where's the 88 one? The total solar of 1988. I should have put the date. Hang on, let me load the date for that. I did load the date. It's right there, March 17th and 18th. It's double dated, so I guess it threw me off. So it's the 17th and the 18th, which would take you to the 20th or the 21st. Okay. So the 20th, those are 7 days apart. You got the 13th to the 20th. Good grief. That's the 16th and 17th fit right in the middle of those, don't they? But because Donnie Darko had two eclipses, two solar eclipses in that movie theater. And so that's why we want to take a look at that. As far as lunar, I had one of them logged. I don't know why I don't have the other one logged. So they were all loaded. All the 88s are loaded. Eclipses, already had them in there. Okay. That's coming up on the 27th. So, okay. Anyway. So we've gone over everything we need to go over. Did we go over? I was talking about eclipses, talking about Donnie Darko. I wanted to show you that. So we got a partial lunar, July 5th, 2001, Dark Knight release, No Time to Die, Quantum Leap. All this stuff is in play for Thursday. Every Friday and every Thursday item right there. So it's tremendously huge. There's just so much coming up, but I tell you what, half of me, literally, I'm going to shock you right now. Half of me does not think that he goes down until my second ex-wife gets married because of that progression. at 89. I was her 88. And Donald J. Trump is 1189 in Jewish gematria and is 888 in the English gematria. And her 1-digit marriage number is 8. So 8, 8. I was 88 both ways. An 8, and then another 8's her next marriage, because her single-digit marriage number would be 8. But when you take the whole marriage number, which is her number and her first husband's number combined, then you just start progressing them 2 digits long, 3 digits long, 4 digits long. He was 15. Good grief, what was he? 15768, and she was 5.5244. Yeah, and so you see how it's 87. Well, the first digit, that's her marriage number, 8, or that's her whole marriage number. But if you just go 2 digits, it's 87. That can progress to 88. And I was her 88. I was also her 88 by an 8, and her second 8. I was her second marriage. So I was her 88 in 2 different ways. That's why I keep telling y'all, Trump and I are on the same, for a myriad of reasons. That's just one example. And don't forget my wife number. My first wife was 628. 48, Obama's birthday, 1964. Next wife would be 63, which was her. And if I was to have a third wife, it would be 64. What's Trump's number? 1.63464. 1 second wife, I was her 88. 1 second wife for the third wife. Who's going to be my third wife? I haven't had intercourse since 2012. We're coming up on that 10-year anniversary on my mom's. I used to keep on an Excel spreadsheet. I kept record of everything, like a diary kind of thing. Last time I had intercourse, I quit keeping those, but yeah. Last time, my mom's birthday of the year my mom, 2 years after my mom passed. Yeah. August 18th. It'd be crazy if he went down on August 18th. That would be my 10-year anniversary the last time I had sex. That's so, y'all, that'd be nuts. But anyway, is that everything? Oh, your comments. There have been some tremendous comments. We've got to go over them. Christian says, no, he thinks Obama is the Antichrist. Mark hasn't ever been right. Nah, being right or wrong about this stuff, we feel like we're on the right track, so to speak, as far as these progressions. And we have high watch days and low watch days, but boy, don't ever hold us to a date. We get super high on stuff, but we don't know for sure. We'll always tell you that. Oh, excuse me. But being right in the Word of God is what matters. Hey, by the way, this is AWTR. You always called Front Row Info. And he said LC might also stand for lunar calendar. I like that. You don't like loose change? Michael's like, I don't like loose change. Well, I don't know. It's just what popped in my pea brain. But lunar calendar. Okay, well, what is the lunar calendar? Is there a lunar calendar we can look stuff up on? Maybe the apple and checkerboard has something to do with telling of time lunar phases. Hey, man, I'm all ears. Literally, I have big ears. Keep going. About 622, that is when Judy Garland died. Summertime Sadness came out that day. And the game Quake also was released that day. Also, my channel name has changed because it used to be difficult to find and search results. Yeah, I bet, because it was just digits. So let's promote, I still want to say AWTR. Let's promote Front Row Info. And anything as of late, I watched this one. That's 13 days ago. Somebody had told me that you had changed your channel. So I caught that one there, all dressed in green and so forth. Could it be any more obvious than Dark Sentences, The Broken Heart of America? I caught these. Good stuff. Always love your videos. Always love watching your videos. So we're glad you're back, and we love when you come in and give us some info. So appreciate you coming on in the comments. We're glad you're watching because we all need to bounce off each other and try to figure stuff out. Trump is going to be 666 hours old on July 2nd. Well, we had been saying that he's 666 for a whole month, but I never thought to look at 666. That's just on July 2nd. Never in my wildest dreams thought to go there. So he's 666 for 8 hours. So at what time will he be 6666666? So at midnight, now he was born at 10:54 a.m. Y'all. So for us to you got to go up 6 more hours. So, okay, if you go by when the exact time he was born, I think you're going to have to go up to the 3rd. Let's just say 4 in the morning. Yeah, 4, literally 4 a.m. So let's take off the times. And let's calculate. Let's go back to the 2nd. Like you said. 66 minus 48. That's 58. 60, it's 18 hours. So it'd be 6 p.m. of that day. That would be 18 hours of that day. 48, 58, 68. So that would be 6 p.m. 6 p.m. is when that particular day, that's not how old he'll be. To get those hours, you literally have to go to 4 a.m. the next day. Would he be shot at 4 a.m.? I don't know. Would he be up getting water in the kitchen and a butler shot him, like the game Clue, in the kitchen with the revolver? Who knows? Now, the funny thing about July 3rd, other than 4 a.m., the funny thing about July 3rd, that's the iPetGoat video at Heliofont posting date. They say their official release date is like June 24th, but when you go to Heliofont's YouTube site, the video of iPetGoat established on July 3rd. So that's highly interesting. You know, later on that morning, you could just say he just passed 666 years old and died, 88 minutes later at 6 a.m. I mean, who knows? We can be creative all day. Now, here's the beauty of July 2nd. Christian might get to this. He's 27777 days old. Remember Aleister Crowley's book, 777. So that's pretty big. Everything just keeps getting more and more interesting every day, doesn't it? Look at the minutes on that day that he would turn 666. You got a 3999 and then an 888 in the minutes column. I don't know. I'm just looking at too much stuff. I see numbers. That's all I ever see. He does have more. So with 183 days beginning at the end of the year, it falls right in the middle. 183 order out of chaos. So 183 equals order out of chaos. Order out of chaos, 183 English ordinal. Donald Trump, 138 in English ordinal. Six hours, July 2nd, 222 equals 138 in reverse ordinal. That's fascinating. Want to say thank you and give credit Joan for connecting the 138. That's fascinating right there. And then when he goes down to say what we were talking about, it falls right in the middle. 180. Yeah, it's right around that 183. January 2nd, January 3rd. I think it's 183, 182. It's the middle of the year because it's 182 days plus 183 days. So there is no middle day except on a leap year, so to speak. Well, I guess there is. If you have 182 on both sides, your middle day is day 183. With 182 going in both directions. So he's telling us what day that is, but let's just be sure. Include both dates. We're going to pop that on July 2nd, 183. So July 2nd is the middle date with 182 going in both directions. The day before it and the day after it. So the middle day of the year is July 2nd. Christian, good stuff. Thank you, my friend. You bring a lot to the table. We love it. All right, Christian's got another post here and another post. So I'm excited and I'm excited. Let's go. I was just watching a video. Did you know June 29th through the 30th, the sun and new moon will be together in Gemini. The sun is in Cancer, though. The sun went into Cancer on. Did you mean that maybe the new moon will be in Cancer? Because we just hit the Cancer sun on the 21st. When you click the astro, it's 1 degree of Cancer. It's 24 degrees of Aries on the moon. Mercury is 9 degrees Gemini. Venus is now Gemini. Mars is Aries. Jupiter is Aries. So, yeah, the sun's in Cancer. So we're about 5 days away, around the 27th for the new moon. Let's look at the moon cycles. Since he brought it up, let's take a look. As here, the new moon is the 29th. And you're saying 29th, 30th. So it would be a new moon in Cancer with the sun in Cancer, not Gemini. So that's all. You just off one zodiac sign. So in our time zone here, it's late on the 28th or the 29th. Depending on where you are in the world. But for here in our Eastern time zone, the new moon hits at 10:52, the 22 mark, because 23 is 11 o'clock. So it'll be 10:52 p.m. on Tuesday, June 28th. We get the new moon in Cancer. So 28th is the new moon in our time zone. And it's Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon. And instead of 29th, 30th, you would say 28th, 29th. Also, a planetary procession on the 24th. All 7 planets and the moon will line up in their correct order, all on one side of the sun. This will be in Gemini. Well, the sun's in Cancer, though. Don't forget that. And so what you wrote there, it's just off a day and it's off one zodiac sign. It's the June 28th, 29th, and it's the sun and moon in Cancer, not Gemini. But yeah, all these planets lining up, that's 100%. With the moon meeting its peak on the 30th. So the sun will be in Cancer on the 24th, with the moon meeting its peak on the 30th. June is known as a month of weddings. June birth flowers are the rose. All right, very interesting. All right, Christian, thank you, sir. Let's go to your next item. And this is the last here. The Romans believed that as Venus rose out of the ocean, she saw Lily. That's fascinating because lilies are the girl's name in I Pet Goat, right? And it's the lotus flower that keeps coming up, but it's the lily. Oh, Lily. The monsters. She was filled with jealousy at the sight. Rose out of the ocean, she saw Lily. Venus, hold on. Romans believed that Venus rose out of the ocean, she saw a lily. She was filled with jealousy at the sight of its amazing beauty. Because of this, she gave the lily a massive pistol, which was considered an eyesore and ruined the beauty of the flower. Greeks, on the other hand, believed that Zeus dedicated the lily to his wife, Hera. Zeus was said to have had a relationship with a mortal who later gave birth to their son, Hercules. Zeus wanted his son to experience the world of the gods, and so he and his wife, Hera, drugged and brought Hercules to nurse from her. Hera awoke and threw Hercules aside. As she did so, some milk sprayed across the heavens, forming the Milky Way. And some drops fell to the earth, and from this, lilies grew. Connections to Rose, Venus, Lily, Hera, and Lotus flower. That's super interesting. I Pet Goat Lily holding the apple. There is a rose in her hair, and also on the wall left side. When the apple splits, you get the lotus. Hera is associated with war. That's interesting. Juno, English, of course, for the month of June, the goddess, the protector and counselor of the state. She was equated to Hera, queen of the gods, a daughter of Saturn. She was the wife of Jupiter, mother of Mars, like Hera, sacred animal, peacock. Several said woman of Rome, patron goddess, Roman Emperor Juno, member, capital, triad, center, the capital in Rome. Hera equals Juno, sounds like June. Yeah, the month of June is named after Juno. So we're still in super interesting time with what Christian is alluding to, these planets lining up. These planets lining up is a super big deal for when we would think maybe Trump would go down. Why in the world not? Because they always have used the expression, when the planets aligned, or gee, the planets must have been aligned. What a time to open the book of Revelation. Gee, when the planets are aligned, right? So I don't know. Sorry about that. It's all pretty fascinating. We are in some super crazy times. And sorry for the super long video. I'm going to vet this before I turn it loose on y'all. It's at Rofkin from RV Truth Uncensored. Michael checked it out, wanted me to check it out. I'll definitely give it a check out. And just thank y'all for the comments. All of y'all, always love reading your comments. Front Row Info, thank you. Christian, thank you. And our other Christian, thank you. And Michael, thank you for your hard work as always. And love y'all very much.